Good morning. Where I am right now is early in the morning, 10:30. I hope you guys are doing well. And if you watched yesterday's football match, the Champions League final, I think you guys enjoyed that game. It was between PSG versus Inter Milan, and PSG won with by 5-0. And it was quite unfair for Inter Milan, though, because PSG was too strong for them. Am I wrong? PSG is a good game. Is a good team, and they are ahead of their time. They are well trained, well prepared, and they are very professional. So the passes were good, as you can see. So it was. I enjoyed watching that game, even though the score was very big. So let's leave what happened yesterday night and focus on our lesson, because our lesson is more important than those things. So we are fighting for our career. They are also fighting for their career. So everyone should focus on his or her career, right? So we are wasting time. Let's dive into today's topic. So today's topic is about. Today's topic is about subqueries, SQL subqueries. I think you guys have heard about subqueries. If you are someone who watches tutorials about SQL, I'm sure you came across this SQL subqueries. Who can tell me what a subquery is? Okay. Subquery is a query inside another query. So from the word subquery, so we have a query and subquery, meaning that it's a small version of a query. So subquery, that is a query. So that is what it means, right? So in meaning, it means a query inside another query. So that is it. So it is used to retrieve data that will be used by the main query. Subqueries help in breaking down complex queries into smaller, more manageable parts, right? So they help in breaking down complex queries. So whenever you have very huge queries to run, so you have to break down those queries into smaller portion, so that it can be manageable. All right. So we use subquery to manage and break down complex queries. Okay. Subqueries are enclosed in parentheses. That is one of the characteristics of subqueries. And they are just normal queries. They start with select, close, as you can see here. They start with select, close. Then from close. From close, this one shows the table. So we ran so many queries. When we came across this, they are in order. They start from select, then from where, having. So we said that where comes before having, right? And we also said that having is used with aggregate functions, while where is not used with aggregate functions. This is an interview question, and they usually ask this question about the difference between where and having. So just paraphrase on your own words and try to answer that question. Make sure you uh, get it correct. So we have insert, update, or delete table. So as you can see there, it's just same as query, but we say that it is subquery, meaning that it's a smaller version of a query. And let's go ahead and look at why do we use subqueries. So we have here, why do we use subqueries? Yep, this is a question that is very very important. Why do we use subqueries? So the number one says modularize complex queries. So subqueries help simplify complex SQL statements by breaking them into smaller, easier to understand components. So for us to understand a complex query, we first have to break down into smaller versions, and that is what subquery does. So because when you're presenting your queries to stakeholders, they don't have any um, idea about queries. They don't know SQL, and if you make it very complex for them, if you bring complex queries, you will confuse people. Then you are not a good data analyst. You are a confuser. You are a confuser. Yep. You're not a good data analyst. If your queries are very complex, then you are not a good data analyst. Subqueries help say that they break down complex queries into smaller and understandable, right? Number two, we said filter dynamically. Subqueries help filter data dynamically based on conditions that depend on the results of another query, alright? They help filter data dynamically based on conditions that depend on the result of another query, alright? That is simple. Number three, calculate intermediate results. Subqueries are often used to calculate intermediate results that are required for further analysis in the main query. So those are the reasons why we use subqueries, and the main reason is used to break down complex queries. We can now go ahead and see types of subqueries. Types of subqueries. We have subqueries in the select clause. We have subqueries in the from clause. Subqueries in the where clause. Correlated subqueries. Those are the types of subqueries. Okay. So you can see there we have four types of subqueries. Yep. So I want you to answer what subqueries are. Who can tell me what subqueries are based on what you have just said? Can you paraphrase on your own words and tell me what subqueries are and what have you understood about what we just discussed right now? So subqueries is a small version of a query. That is good, right? They are closed by parentheses. That is very good. They are just normal version of queries, but they are used to break down complex. That is very good, guys. Thank you so much. And these are the types of subqueries we have: subqueries in select clause, subqueries from clause, subqueries in where clause, and correlated subqueries. So let's start with subqueries in select clause. That is the first type. Subqueries in select clause are used to add an extra column to the results set by calculating values based on another query, right? Subqueries in the select clause are used to add extra column to the results set by calculating values based on another query. So we use it to add extra column. So when we want to add an extra column, we use the select, right? In normal cases, in normal queries, it's just the same that we use select to add a column. So that is it. They used to retrieve data, right? Correct. So we use this so that when we are calculating on another column, then subqueries can come in and yep, this is it. Remember that enclosed by parentheses. Example. So this is the example of the select version. Select first name, last name. As you can see at the first part. Okay, who can tell me where the subqueries are? Okay, this is the subquery. They are enclosed by parentheses, right? Yep, this one. Yeah, this is a main query. This is the main query. This is the subquery, right? We say that subqueries is a query inside another query. So we have a main query and the subquery is a query. So we have to select. This is the main one. This is a subquery. So as you can see that this one now is used to break down a complex. For example, select first name, last name. That is uh, the main query. Then inside that, select count all from mental health visits where patient ID equals to mental health patient.id. As you can see that as well. So this is what the select type of query look like. Okay, explanation. The subquery counts the number of visits for each patient. Alright, as you can see here, count all from mental health visits. Okay, where patient ID equals to health mental health. Okay, patient. So this is a table. So unless you see that table, that is when you can understand properly. But the explanations are very clear if you follow this keenly, as the subquery counts the number of visits for each patient. All right. So the outer query retrieves the patient's name. As you can see here, it receives patient's name. The main query, also known as the outer query, and the results of the subquery shown as the total visits for each patient. Right, this one here. So this one has total visits. So this one is shown by the subquery, total visits. Okay, this one now counts the number of patients. All right. So that is it. So example 2. Let's look at example 2 and the explanations. Select first name, last name. So we have selected the two names. Okay. We have selected names, right? The first name, last name. This is the main query and this is the subquery. Okay. Select marks visit from mental health visit where patient ID equals to mental health, right? As you can see there, max means maximum, right? So the highest date from the mental visit where patient ID equals to, now this one dot patient ID. So this one we talk about it when we are doing joins, right? So now this explanation for this is that the outer query, the subquery, retrieves the latest date for each patient by using max. Alright, so it gives us the latest date because maximum gives you the highest, right? The latest date. The outer query gives the patient's name and the last name. Alright, that is how we use subqueries. So if we were to use one single query, it would have been more complex to combine with the latest date. See, So you could have said marks, so I don't know, marks, something like that. Again, without the select, it would have been very confusing, and you could have gotten error unless you are a very very expert in this uh, queries, subqueries. Number two, subqueries from close. From close, so it gives us the tables, right? uh, are used to create temporary table called a derived table that the outer query can use. Example 1, count visits per diagnosis. Select diagnosis, total visits from, then select diagnosis, count all as total visits. So here the subquery counts the total number of visits, right? Because when you say count is used for counting, right, as total visits from mental health patients grouped by diagnosis. So as diagnosis visits, so it will be returned as alias. This is alias diagnosis visits. So let's go and look at the explanation. The subquery counts the total number of visits for total number of visits for each diagnosis, right? This is the subquery that is enclosed by the parenthesis. The outer query retrieves diagnosis and total visit counts. So, yep. We can go to example 2, average age diagnosis. So one thing you should remember that we should first run the subquery, then go to the main query. So select diagnosis, average age, alias, average age for mental health patients grouped by diagnosis as diagnosis age. Now the outer query, this one retrieves the diagnosis corresponding to average age. So you can see select diagnosis and average age from, then select diagnosis average age as average age um, from health patient group by diagnosis. So that is how the subquery looks like. So make sure you remember that subqueries are enclosed by parentheses, and this is the from, right? This one gives you the table. So these are the informations from to help us out. All right. Number 3, we have where clause. Subqueries in the where clause are used to filter records based on the results of another query. It can be used to compare values dynamically. Okay, number 1, this is the explanation here. So where patient ID in, as you can see there, then the subquery starts there. So depending on the first part before the parenthesis, it is derived from that name. So for example here we call it the where close query because it starts with where, and the other one we call it from, right, from close query because it starts with from before the subquery, before the parenthesis. The other one select, we call it select query because it has the word select, as you can see that. Make sure you remember that. Okay. All right. So now um, yep, that is where. So helps identify all patients on it. So that is it. This is the where close. Make sure you see this. It's a long query, as you can see that, but these things will be simplified. So our work today is to just give you overview of what you are expected to do. Okay. So and there is a senior data analyst that will come and take you through all this, explain to you step by step. Alright, so that will happen. I will let you know when it will happen. Let's just push ourselves. When we finish this, then that guy will come and he will take you SQL from day one. As I took some people yesterday who joined yesterday's class, I did Excel from day one. Everything I covered step by step. So even though the YouTube did its own things, because after as soon as I finished the stream, I saw that there was only a small portion of the stream that was being recorded, right? So it was very sad though. It was about 4 hours stream though. I did 4 hours stream, but after I finished the stream, I saw that it had 19 minutes at the end. So I don't know what happened. So those people who joined, I think you learned a lot yesterday, right? Right. So SQL for that case, there's someone who will come. He will take you step by step, everything and I will let you know everything. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. So I will let you know when when that person will come and teach you. So that stream will be very nice. And do not miss that lesson. That is my advice. Do not miss that lesson. So to avoid missing that lesson, make sure subscribe to the channel and put the notifications on. Okay, let's go back to where we were. We talked about the where clause. So we have this another query known as the where subquery. Alright. The last one is correlated subquery. A correlated subquery, that reference column of the outer query. The subquery is executed for each row processed by outer query. Patients with more than one emergency visit, select first name, last name from mental health, where, as you can see, yep, this is the subquery now. It is enclosed by parentheses. Okay, and this is the explanation for this query. This is another example of that query. Now, and we can go back to this summary and do summarize what you have just learned. Subqueries in select add calculate values to results. Remember that. Subqueries from create temporary table. So there's a table that is being created because from usually gives you derived table. Subqueries where filters based on subquery. Okay, it filters. So where we know that it is used to filter information. So that is now it becomes where subquery. Correlated subqueries row by row processing. Okay. Subqueries are powerful but can be less efficient with large dataset. Always test performance, especially with correlated subqueries. Try to limit number of nested subqueries or consider using join when appropriate for better performance. Now join is it's more efficient than subqueries, and you see these queries are very long. These queries are very long, and joins will simplify these queries, and joins are much simpler, to be honest, than subqueries. So today's lesson was about the overview we have done, and we just finished. It was a very short stream, and because today is a weekend. Okay, all of you, I wish you a good weekend. And the quote of the day is never give up. Never give up. Push yourself. One day you will learn somewhere. Just push yourself. That is the quote of the day. And about mentorship, so I had to bring this right to you as early as possible. So there's a mentorship. I won't be mentoring. I won't be able to mentor all of you, so it will be impossible for me. So I will need only few people. I will select few people among those who will apply for that mentorship and tutor, private tutor. So because I need a small group that I can manage, not a very huge, just small group that I can manage. So first text me if you are serious about this, you want to apply. And the requirement is, and I want someone who is ready to learn. Okay. Number two, if you are a person if you're a person who don't miss a lesson, then this is for you. Number three, if you're a person who is struggling completely with data analysis, this is for you. I want to help. I want to help people who are below average. This mentorship is for you. If you are above average and you have grasped some informations, I will advise you just push yourself. You are in the right path. Watch this channel. It is more than enough. So there are people who are struggling completely, don't know how to write queries. So that mentorship is for you. Right. And if you are someone, maybe you know stuff, you know small thing, but you want to join for this, I want to refuse for you, but it is better for you to go to the advanced analysis. Okay. So if you have already grasped the basic, why don't you go and do the advanced analysis in this Google, that certificate? Go for it. Okay, for the advanced. But those who are below average and they're starting from zero, just as you can see in the descriptions, so there's that link for the mentorship. Just click it and it will take you to my uh, blog, something like that. Then you can just comment there or start a message and talk to me there. I'll be teaching you every day that. So the schedule, so I'll think about it whether it is in your own schedule or mine. So I haven't thought about that, but I will let you know. So if you are not among those people, those type of people I have mentioned, then that mentorship is not for you. I want a small group, I said. So if I am to select all of you, it will be very hard for me to manage it. Okay. And I said I want those who are starting at the sea level, meaning that they are very low there. They're starting. They just stepped into this industry, and they don't have anyone to help them, anyone to take them through these stars, please, please, just DM me and just promise me that you won't miss a class. Okay, that is very important. And thank you so much and have a good day. Okay. And that is the end of the stream. So I said, what I have said. If you heard what I said and you want to do it, go ahead. If you are not among those type of people, just don't do it. As simple as that. If you are above the basics and you are good at it, you have grasped the informations that I have taught you, it is enough. But if you have stepped into that industry, these videos, live streams might not help you, as it needs someone who has already grasped some informations. Okay, so just feel free, don't be scared. I am ready to listen to you. I am ready to help you. Okay, don't be scared to ask. don't be, don't be scared to follow me up. I won't do anything to you. Okay, remember we are friends. So goodbye. Thank you so much for attending today's lesson.